Alright, welcome to today's episode on being real, this time with a purple background. So we're activating up the chakra levels. So we're in the crown chakra now. So lots of thinking going on. Activation, energy, transmutation, manifestation. Manifest. So like and subscribe. Like the video. Share and subscribe. So that's what you have to do with these videos. You have to zoom in, B-roll, preview footage, what's going to be in the video. Get all that dopamine. Oh my God. Look, here's the deal. Maybe that's part of the problem of what we're dealing with here. I think it is. But anyway. I found the red pill, oh man, it was probably like 2016 is when I think I found it, when it started to really take off. And, probably consumed the content for, I don't know, 3 years at that point in time. I mean, 1 year definitely for sure was really into it. And then a couple years just sort of trailed off. And ever since then, after 2020, haven't really paid too much attention at all since what it has now recently turned into. I think that's what I want to talk about. That's where I want to lead this right now, is what it has turned into. Now, what it has turned into essentially is entertainment for broke boys, entertainment for soy boys, and justifications for why you're in a shitty place right now and why the world is anchored up against you and you're not going to win. So in a way, the red pill has converged into the black pill for some, because just by you watching red pill content, constantly getting education about how the world works, yeah, man, all these girls, bro, are fucking crazy and they only want this particular type of man, so I need to watch more podcasts about it. 4-hour-long podcast about why the world is fucked. It's basically a black pill. Okay, that's what it is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're watching red pill content, you're just a dork. And that brings me on to my second topic, really, which is, all these people in these red pill communities, they're dorks, man. You pick any one of them out there, you put them in the street, and I don't think that anyone would necessarily find them to be high value. Anyways, they're just I don't know, they're just familiar faces that we have grown accustomed to, but otherwise aren't really displaying anything super special. Uh, Tristan and Andrew are the only ones that are kind of a little bit different. Justin Waller as well, but they're also not really in the red pill. So I kind of find it interesting how those that have been associated with the red pill have dipped out and are now doing their own thing, which I think is more red pill in nature to actually do than those who are, like still in it. Even though I'd probably say that the brand is probably being destroyed in real time. So I think everyone's kind of out of the red pill now. But anyway, look, these podcasts that they do are so goofy. That's why I think I really never got into it too much ever since it transitioned to what it is now, the red pill. It's just goofy, man. I mean, like you got this what's the podcast? It's the Fresh and Fit. I don't know which one's Fresh or which Myron or Fit. I don't know which one's which or whatever, but you got these people, man, and they're just what they do. They got all these hot chicks, okay? They put them on the table and just start interviewing them. And because they're all like the same type of woman, you're going to get the same type of answers from each one. So they're only interviewing a very specific archetype of a woman, which has been inverted energetically in a number of different ways. And they're almost like trying to poke fun or trying to educate about how they're incorrect and they need to adopt the structure of what you should be based upon how the male thing is working out or based upon how like things have always been. And to me, I think at that level, it's just not very interesting. And it's why it's dorky, why it's goofy, is because back to how it's entertainment. It's like, hey guys, let's set the camera. Got all the shows, man. Hey, like, look here. We got all the cute girls, man. They're all at the table. We're all talking to them. Ain't this great, guys? It's just goofy, dude. You're goofy. It's dorky. It's nerdy. And it's basically the opposite of high status, ironically. Now, here's the thing. I think this education, it's important. It's important to know this stuff. I mean, back when I was saying earlier, in 2016, 17, 18, man, this stuff was hopping, bro. It was really important for me to know. And it was important for me to know because man, when you're a young man out in the world, like no one cares about you. You don't even know why they don't care. They appear to care for everyone else other than you, it seems like. The whole journey of being a young man is essentially learn how to deal with manipulation. Manipulation psychically, energetically, spiritually, not so much physically, but it's there. Man, your whole journey of being a man is just about learning, like, why does the world treat me differently as opposed to how it appears to treat women and appears to treat everyone else but me? It's a weird psychological tormenting system that you go through as a young man. I think that the red pill, they offer a very small fraction of education in that, but their education always goes back to like, well, you got to do this, do this, do this, become high status to get a woman or to get this. Because if a woman, if you're working at McDonald's, man, she's not even gonna look twice at you. Duh, duh, duh. And why I know this is wrong is because, man, there's been times where I've been super broke, no money, sleeping in my car, just have problems. I mean, here's the thing, all of these problems could have been solved. And I think that was kind of the hilarious part about it for me is that I didn't have to live in my car. I didn't have to do like, so who I was and how I've always been has never really matched my situation. And so in a way, I was able to kind of transfigure it beyond these paradigms to where it's like, yeah, I have no money, but also could have a you know, bunch of plates around me and it was no problem. And that's, I guess, what I'm trying to say is that the red pill is for people who need it, in a way, right? I mean, there was a time when I think I needed it just as a baseline education. And after that, I didn't need it. I think I just found that early on, my whole life had to be about purpose and developing myself and getting stronger, not in the gym way, but just mentally stronger. I need to gain skills. I need to get better at everything that I could possibly get better at. And the thought of women just exited out of my mind like I don't care. Like, what do you mean I got do like when's the last time I've been to a bar, dude? I can't even tell you. Like in in my whole 20s, I went to a bar maybe like 10 times. This stuff's never been interesting to me. And so all of these techniques are necessarily they're taught to you in a way like, all right, like gotta, when they talk to you, like act like you're not interested. Do this and that, this technique, say this type of thing. But the thing is, what they don't understand is you're trying to lock in so that you can enter into a paradigm with chicks that you otherwise wouldn't even want to be around, for one, because they're girls that go to the bars and clubs and whatever. So I mean, why are you talking to these people? And two, it's this game around seduction but power inversion to make it seem like I'm high status because I've learned these things or whatever. And it's not really even about that. I mean, like I said before, when I had nothing, I could still get hoes. And that's really important to understand. Okay? Most of my life, what I've learned that the world that people try to sell me is not what the world is. And I think that the red pill is doing that. It's selling you a worldview of like how this is how all women work because all women are like this. They only want this or that. It's like, dude, the world I'm in right now is not like that at all. I don't think that uh, it's like they're in a different alternate dimension in a way. I mean, you can go to any city, any place, and you'll find these pockets and corners where these variables that they try to apply over to your reality, they don't work. It's like it may generally work as a phenomenon, but they're really creating a template of how certain paradigms within the world that they know works, right? So all women are like this way. They want to monkey branch up and climb the ladder and find the alpha male and this and that. It's like, no, what I see out in the world is not working that way at all. And even if it is, I don't even think it's necessarily a bad thing. Or there's these instances of how the red pill tries to document all the bad aspects of female nature. It's not even a bad thing at all either. I mean, everything makes sense when you look at it. And so, in a way, the red pill, what it is basically trying to do is instigate a sense of anger and rage within you to get you to take action so you can step into the very specific template that they're aligning for how the male should be and architect themselves to then attract a certain partner who is receptive to that archetype. And what I'm saying is, I don't think that you have to go through that process like that because it insinuates that you want a very particular type of woman. And that particular type of woman is probably not even the best array of options that could actually work for you because how we form connections is so multidimensionally connected that it's not even about like this transactional nature of I have this value, you have this value, I need to assert my dominance and like you're my bitch. It's a really weird thing, man. When you recognize relationships can form under so many different circumstances and ways, and can be beneficial. That's where you access that true multidimensional consciousness. And they do not have the actual conscious ability to multidimensionally process how reality operates. They just see reality from the instance of the reality that they want to see. And really, I don't think that they have the capability to see other alternate types of reality as well. So that's what I think about that. Now, on the flip side, you know, men, you don't want to be too spiritual, right? I mean, if you're you ever just imagine like a hippie dude. You know, he wears beanies all the time. He's got braids in his hair. He's like half naked, all this stuff, and like singing "Kumbaya." That image of that male always seems as though they have a problem. Like you look at them like, oh, that's not quite what you should be. You got the right idea, I guess. You're in tune with nature, but it still is not. It's off. There's this lovey-dovey, fuzzy feeling, warmness, weak energy to it. You know, and that's what most spiritual men they turn into. And so, in a way, we have this battle now between who is the most spiritually aligned, who should we trust more with the information. And I'm naturally embedded into these circles of what you would call like spiritual circle spiritualities kind of shit. But the more I've immersed myself into these terrains, man, I think no one knows what they're talking about, and especially women and especially men. It's almost hard to generalize this stuff, but I'm basically saying. Go to ascensionglossary.com, type in all the words, boop, boop, boop. Just fill your brain with a bunch of dumb concepts about how this very mystical, inverted polarity, demonic dragon reality is occurring, and we're being constantly infested with archons in different dimensions, and adopt this language system. And that's all they really do. And it's victim consciousness. So women's consciousness right now is low in a sense, and men's consciousness is low in a sense. Women, they do live in a fantasy realm where it's all ideals and it's all should be. There's maintenance of how the world should be in relation to me and stuff like that. But with men, we learn early on that, oh man, like no one cares about me. No one likes me. No one really cares if I do go or I don't go. I'm never really wanted anywhere. And so there's this radical sense to, all right, I need to put myself into situations where I can be as real as possible and be completely okay with who I am. And that's a spiritual thing. When men go their own way, they go their own direction and say, screw the world. I'm just going to do my own thing and live within my own container. I mean, you're being real. It's what you should be doing, you know? And the thing is, like women, they don't. That's very rare for them to do that. There's always some justification for why the thing is the way it is, or it's the archonic, demented demon realms are infecting me from some different lifeline, and they're out to get me, and whatever. So we have this generation where I truly think that the spiritual progress is really happening to the men. But at the same time, we're kind of being gaslit into thinking, oh man, you do suck though, because you're a man, because you're so unidirectionally thinking. That's how the spiritual women would say. You're unidirectionally thinking about the experience of all things because you're so fixated on red pill related alpha male content. And so they're kind of right. But then also, men are just more real in general. when women are often not, which is why the red pill has erupted. So it's a strange paradigm to get into this stuff, man, to really think about it. And it's probably pointless to think about if I'm just being honest with you, because it really doesn't relate to me. And I think that's the main message. That's the thing what I'm trying to basically say. Growing up, I think I need the red pill to help me understand the world. But now I don't need it. I don't, because you just need 1 month of this education and just go on your merry way and you don't have to really think about it ever again, you know? And I think that when you're constantly making it a thing where you're just, wow, the new episode just dropped, I need to watch it. You get these things get 30,000 views, 70,000 views in a day. Like people are watching this stuff. How many of those people who you think are viewers are actually alpha male? I'd say less than 0.1%. For every 1,000 viewers, one of them. So 70 out of 70,000. And that's probably right. That's probably true. And I think that those that actually would watch the content from that angle, that would be the true alpha male types who wouldn't need it, they would probably be the ones that would actually be trying to learn different aspects about the production. How's the camera angle and lighting set up for this scene? How long was it? Where's the viewers? Where did they drop off? Where did they gain followers? This kind of stuff. Who the guests were on? Why'd they pick them? See, when I'm watching these things, that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the production element of the show. I almost like don't need the content. In fact, almost every YouTube video that pops up here, see, I'm scrolling through YouTube. Every YouTube video that pops up, there's almost nothing in there that, wow, I'm glad I took away that information. Wow, that really helped me. Never. There's never anything new, ever. Once you get to a certain point in your life, as a young man, or just in general, you will get to a point where you'll have sought in so much information, and it will just glue to you, that you yourself will start to make the perspectives work for you and think about things all the time that actually make a lot of sense to you individually, and you'll come across all these findings automatically. It'll just happen. So no finding in no book or any podcast episode, you don't need it. What you need is yourself. You need to be real. That's the only thing that you need. And so again, I think it's ironic that we got these red pill shows trying to teach men how to be better and this kind of stuff, when in fact, the number one way to be better is to not watch these shows, or especially if you're watching them in a prolonged fashion, like it's Saturday and they just dropped a new 4-hour episode. I'm going to turn it on and eat some popcorn. And wow, look at this. Dude, no, not how it's supposed to work. So the red pill has some problems. Spirituality has problems. The inversion of the different dynamics of male and female, and kind of how we're being gaslit as men to think that we're not spiritually advanced enough when we're more spiritually advanced. Weird, man. It's a weird time to live right now. We have to evolve the content. The red pill, they're so obsessed with getting women. And it's crazy. It is crazy. That's what it always goes back to that. Watch any red pill video. They'll mention women in the entire thing a number of different times. So is that like all this is about? Is like you guys just have like a women getting problem? Like, I don't know about you, but that's like the least problem that I have. And it's not because any other intrinsic traits about me. It's just I really don't care. And ironically, the more you don't care, the more they probably will be interested in you. Which maybe that's what the red pills are all just trying to communicate. They're trying to communicate that, yeah, they'll like you more if you don't pay attention to them. And I guess what I'm trying to say to you is, do you want a woman who kind of gets off on that energy where they're receptive to that inversion technique? Because there's women out there that aren't. If you don't give them attention, they won't give you attention. And it's like a healthy boundary setting thing. So the red pill is trying to essentially exploit and learn and adapt all these qualities to get a very particular type of woman, while also generalizing all the women are like this, when if you go out into the real world, they're not. They're not all like that. And you only need to find one that's not that way to have a happy life and be fine. So we got the monogamy versus polygamy thing. Can men cheat and women cheat? Who can cheat in which situation and when and why? And again, all these conversations, they aren't very metaphysically oriented. There's nothing of substance to them. It's still material, 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 material. What about this? What about this? It's like they're in a box. They're in a cage. They don't know that they're in a cage. It's goofy, man. I'm hating on the red pill today. But I mean, really, this stuff is goofy. They're trying to sell you a reality that isn't even real. And why would you even want to tune into that reality if it is real? Like again, when's the last time I went to a bar or a club? Like for what? I can't even I honestly can't remember why. Maybe I had like a burger sometime at some bar a few months ago, but I have no idea. And then after that, like it's probably been several years. I have no idea. I think this is the important thing to figure out about this whole reality that you want to design for yourself. Is you have to find out like what the heck do you want that is not the mainstream way. I mean, I'll be in the sun and I'll be like with dudes who are all just like scrolling through Instagram, boom, boom, boom. Oh, dude, see this fitness dude? He posts this new pic. Oh man, look at his triceps. He's so ripped, bro. Boom, boom, boom. Zooming in and shit, talking with their friend about their routine, their workout. And I'm just like, dude, we got all this talk about the Matrix. The Matrix. That's the Matrix right there. You're in the sauna. You're a dude who goes to work out every single day because you're obsessed and you're addicted to this sort of weird getting better and getting fitter and whatever, but really it's a deep addiction for you that you haven't figured out. And you're there scrolling and looking at other dudes' arms and like, wow, man, look at those tricep indentations. And dude, like that's the Matrix. The Matrix wants you to be a robot like this, like fitness, material. What's this person wearing? Who's this person going with what? The world around me, material, physical, everything is the way it exactly it is. Why don't any girls like me? Well, you know why they don't like you, dude? They don't like you because you're so obsessed with material. And so the ones that you're only attracted to are so materially invested. And so now you're pursuing education for how to gain your status, gain your material to attract a woman who is deeply invested and interacts with only things that are material so you can go live a material little world together. It's like, dude, I almost got to revamp this argument and say like I think women they are more spiritually advanced now. I think that's what it is. I think they're the more spiritually advanced, and men are weaker. And you know there'll be people that say like beta. That's a beta thing to say, dude. It's not. Women are gaining strength. They're getting away from the normative of what we always thought they were, and they're transitioning to something different. Men are transitioning, but they're getting lower and lower and lower. So, man, maybe it's hard to make that argument. Like, who's getting the stuff has to be stretched out, and you have to go into the specifics. And, like with everything, you can't generalize the stuff. It's hard to generalize, even. The red pill really makes my job hard with this shit, man, for real.